Hello, welcome to the show. It's Puricelli Network Live, episode 326. I need some energy. Come on, energy, give me some energy. It's because it's warm and I'm tired. It's been a busy week. But we're going to see you through to the start of the weekend and hope it's a good one. It's going to be a warm one again here in the UK. And of course, over in America, it's the 4th of July weekend. I believe most, if not all, Americans have had today off, and then tomorrow is big firework blow shit up day. Ungrateful colonials. So yeah, happy July 4th or 4th of July, whatever you say over there. We celebrate it with you because hey, we don't have to worry about you anymore. You're on your own. Right, did you see that thing in the news today? They found one of 11 original copies made in 1776 of the Declaration of Independence. They found it in the National Archive here in the UK. It was apparently confiscated by some British naval officers during the American Revolution. It's like one of 11 copies. And I think the last one sold at auction for $5 million or something crazy like that. Anyway, that's enough of that. We're here to talk about synthesizers mostly because the clue's in the name. It's the Pro Synth Network. We'll talk about other bits and bobs as well. And we are two people down this week. We've got no Jason because he's busy feeding children, which is a very important thing to do. And then we've got no Scotty because he's on holiday. Again, a very important thing to do. But good evening to those chaps, and hopefully they'll be back with us fairly soon. So it's just myself, Andrew and Kent, who we'll speak to in just a moment. But before we do, let's get the boring rubbish out of the way, shall we? If you haven't already, give us a like during the show. If you give us a thumbs up, apparently it makes a real difference. What also makes a difference is if you can subscribe to the channel. If you haven't already subscribed, please do. It costs you nothing. It doesn't affect you in any shape or form whatsoever, unless you hit the notification bell, and then you'll get some notifications. But the subscription costs you nothing, and it really does help our channel grow and move around and get into other people's feeds. So if you haven't already, please, pretty please, with cherries on top, give us a subscribe. If you want to talk to us during the show, comment, give us any feedback, then of course you can do on the chat mechanism on the platform that you're watching on. The vast majority of you watch on YouTube, so you can use the YouTube live chat. If you're watching on Twitch, hello, one watcher on Twitch. Hope you're enjoying the show. You can also comment in the chat facility over there. And if you're watching on Facebook, then you can also put your comments underneath the stream, and we will see all of those. And if you have a question, stick a big capital Q in the front of it and put a question mark on the end. That helps us identify it from everything else that goes in the chat, and we can then address that as and when. And if you know somebody that might enjoy the show but doesn't already currently watch the show, then please do share the link around. Tell them to come over, join us, and hopefully they'll have an interesting start to their weekend every Friday night. As we've said before, we say it frequently, we say it every week. We are a community funded channel. We're here for the community. We are the community. And therefore we rely on your donations to help us keep the power going and do the show every week, because it does cost money. It costs a sizable amount of cash, a four-figure sum, no less, every year to do something like this. So to do that, we ask, we don't demand, that if you want to help us, you can contribute in a number of ways. And one of the best ways to do that is through our Patreon page. prosynthnetwork.com/Patreon. Why is it the best way? Well, the reason it's the best way is because for your minimum of $2 a month, you get free stuff, like the brand new pack that we've got here from Gare Hughes of Custom Sonics, who is a huge contributor to our Patreon effort. He's just donated a bank of pads and keys for your Ensoniq ESQ1, which we debuted a couple of weeks ago on the show with the team from Cherry Audio. So if you want those patches, and you want other patches for things like Mercury 8, or whether you want to watch the Synthspirations videos without any adverts or without having to go and find them, they're all here listed. There's also, again, from Custom Sonics, some decent sampler instruments. The last one was a whole bunch of drum machines. We've got short videos in there. We've got more patches from various people, including Mark Barnes, who's away on his hollybobs with his lovely wife Cheryl, and he's actually going to be well. We'll bring him into the show in a few weeks' time, I am sure, for some very special reasons. But yeah, there's loads of other things in there. James Dyson's given us some sounds, and there's a whole bunch of other stuff in there. It's a great place to support us and for you to get something in return. And so we thoroughly encourage you to sign up at our Patreon page. The other thing that you can do is you can sign up as a YouTube channel member and get all that stuff as well. Okay, so whichever one you feel is most appropriate, we don't mind which one you do. I think we probably get a better deal with Patreon. I think YouTube take a little bit more money off the top for that service. So it's entirely up to you. Whichever you feel most comfortable with or convenient. You don't have to do it, but you get lots of stuff for just a minimum $2 a month. So there you go. Another thing that you can do is you can buy merchandise. So we have lots of things, clothing, accessories, fashion items or non-fashion items, because we're just an aging bunch of old men. We don't do fashion. We did all of that 30, 40 years ago. In Andrew's case, 150 years ago. So we do all of that, and you can come and buy merchandise like t-shirts with silly cartoons on. And we're able to take a few pennies off of each of those items sold. So if you want to go and spread the word and feel warm and fuzzy, as well as warm and comfortable in top quality stuff, I have to say, you can go to prosynthnetwork.com/merch and go to our store and buy some goodies there. If you've got a loved one's birthday coming up, or if your birthday is coming up and your loved one says to you, what would you like for your birthday? What would you like for Christmas? Give them the link, prosynthnetwork.com/merch. They can buy stuff there. And if you buy something from us, I send you a very special personal video wearing clothes from the ProSynth Network. And if you buy lots of stuff, I might not wear the clothes. I don't know. It's entirely up to you. You take your chances. If you want to join in with the crowd outside of Friday night between 7 and 9 UK time, you can do so at Discord. We're building this up very slowly, but it's definitely building. And I'm thinking that maybe we do some cool stuff over on Discord in terms of live streaming, because you can do stuff over there. So we might do some special stuff in the coming months over just on the Discord channel. And that costs you nothing to join. So you just download the Discord app, sign up, and away you go. Of course, you can also find us across most of the social media networks. We mostly hang out on Facebook, but we are also on Blue Sky, Twitch, Instagram, Threads, and bizarrely TikTok, all at ProSynth Network. If you have a question, I've already told you, just give us a shout in the chat boxes. Put a big capital Q in front of it. That will just help us see it, and then we can move it into the question bucket to answer at a later date. And I think that is all of the housekeeping out of the way. Andrew's made his usual donation. Thank you very much indeed for your £3.26, because it's episode 326. No significance or relevance to 326 that I can think of. So there we go. And welcome to everybody that's in the chat that's already throwing their comments with gay abandon into there. And we must say a massive thank you, as we always do, to the wonderful Steve Elbows, who is our moderator in the chat, and he helps not only keep you audible lot in line, but he also posts links to the things that we're talking about. It's a miracle, because I never warn him what we're talking about, and he's there banging the links in the chat. His hands are above his keyboard, awaiting my very word when I say we're going to do this, and Google, bang, well, it's in there. Fantastic job. So thank you, Steve, for all your help. Just give him some love in the chat, if you wouldn't mind. Thank you very much. Right, we've got news. It's mostly a software news week this week. So if you're looking for hardware news, there isn't much. So we've got some very cool things to talk about. So we'll be going through those, and I shall be joined in doing so by the very lovely Andrew Longhurst. How are you, sir?
Oh, I'm good.
I thought you had, didn't it?
Oh, yeah, I did. I'm busy looking at a mugshot of me on a T-shirt and on a mug on the merch site, because I just realised I gave my last mug to Steve the bastard, and I don't have a T-shirt of me, so I'm going to get both of those. I'm just about to get them. Yeah,
I saw a T-shirt of you last weekend.
Did you wear?
Guess who was wearing it?
Some
I'll give you three guesses. Well, I wouldn't want to say.
Yeah. 3 guesses. Keith in. No, he only wears orange.
No, he didn't turn. He didn't bother showing up.
Not Pete.
Not Pete.
Ah, it wasn't you.
It wasn't me. It was the hand of Lenin.
Oh, no!
He turned up wearing an Andrew Longhurst t-shirt.
I'm not worthy. I'm really not. I'm really not. Thank you.
I've got visual evidence of him playing a DX7. He had the biggest grin on his face.
That's always a good thing.
Got photos.
Share the photos then. Have you got them now?
I'll dig them out in a bit. Yeah.
Well, we're going to talk about some of that, aren't we?
Well,
So maybe you
Yeah.
can share them then.
Indeed.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's been a bit of a week, hasn't it, really? Been a busy old week. I'm, just so everyone knows, I've been talking about this for ages. I mean, years. But I'm stripping out the entire studio over the next couple of weeks, 2-3 weeks, and redoing the whole thing because it's just a mess. It's just, there's no room to move in here. And, what started out as a temporary thing has just become, I might as well just accept it and get on with it. Yeah. So, this is going to be fun. If any of it works at the end of it, I'll be surprised, but we'll do what we can.
Indeed. Well, I've just extracted all of my photos from the weekend, so we'll show those a little bit later on. Cool. For those that are wondering, we were at a show. We were doing another show. This is our, what is it? We've done Synth East. We did our own Synth Southwest. And then we've done Synthesized. Have we done any more? I don't think we have. And the next one, of course, is the big one, Synth Fest in Sheffield, where we've got presence on the shop floor.
Super booth?
Yeah, but we didn't demonstrate there, or we didn't have a stall.
Okay.
That was a bit more of a jolly, that one. But yeah, one day I'd love to be able to do Super Booth, but the thought of dragging equipment just up the road to Cambridge is bad enough, let alone to Berlin. Well, you never know. One day. In fact, what I want to do maybe one year is actually do a live broadcast, or even just a recording, and then we can put it out later on because I've seen people do it. So I'm thinking, that's not a bad idea. Maybe. We'll have to think about that.
Maybe do it from one of the cabins or something. Get someone where they've got kit, so you don't have to lug kit with you. You just do it there.
Well, we can take a camera or something. Yeah, I'm sure we can do something. We'll certainly think on that. Anyway, he's prized himself out from under either an MAX, Fiona, or a Mustang. It's Ken Spong.
Do you know what they all have in common?
Oh, go on. They're gorgeous.
Yeah, all right, I'll go with that.
There you go.
All of them are gorgeous.
All of them
right,
are gorgeous.
I'll go with that.
And
it wasn't what I was thinking, but
you've dressed up Hans by the looks of it.
Yes, he's putting on the Ritz.
Is he?
Yeah, apparently.
I thought it was just the way he walked.
Yeah, well.
Good old Hans. We need to get him on the show. Ha! One day.
One day.
One day.
Yeah.
It might be. Is that the culprit?
Yeah.
There you go.
Oh, did it die?
Yeah.
Well, it's killing.
So did
things.
mine. I had to get another one.
So what are we watching? I mean, I know it's a camera, but what camera?
It's a Brio 4K.
Okay.
It's
so
just Logitech.
Mm-hmm. You are a bit, as they say, overexposed. It's a little bit bright.
Not a first.
It is a bit.
Yeah. But it's okay. It's fine. It's fine.
Yeah.
It smooths the lines on the face.
It's about the only thing it does.
Oh, you've had a week, haven't you?
Yeah, haven't I?
Let's not go there because it is depressing.
No, because I had forgotten.
Yeah, okay.
We just pulled it up again.
We shan't remind you. Anyway, good to see you, my friend. As always. I mean, it was only
Indeed.
like 90 minutes ago that I saw you.
Yeah,
last.
about 90 minutes ago.
But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh, there we go.
So long, darling. It's been so long.
Well, here we are. It's just the three of us. That could be a song.
Just the three of us.
Yeah. So it's kind of like old times, isn't it? Just the three of us. But we've got plenty to talk about, which is always good. And of course, we've got our wonderful chat companions that will, I'm sure, no doubt, sprinkle their knowledge and wisdom and joie de vivre into the chat, and we can work with that. Anyway, where should we start? I mean, I don't know. It is mainly software based this time. I don't really know where to start. Actually, I'm going to start with. I'll start with. I'm going to start with this. Because I think this is probably one of the coolest plugins, certainly this week, if not this year so far. I'm really, really liking this, and it's not at all expensive. This is Synth 80. We'll leave it there. It goes on for about 4 or 5 minutes. It's a good demo. But this is a brand new synth from Jun Murakami App Factory. Let me just bring this onto the screen. Here we go. There it is. It is, according to them, the world's only and finest Jupiter that faithfully recreates the legendary MKS-80 Super Jupiter. For those that aren't fully aware, the MKS-80 was, if I'm not mistaken, and somebody will correct me, it was more of a Jupiter 6 than anything else. But it was 8-voice, and you could have splits and layers and all sorts of things going on. It was a pretty monster module, and it has been recreated here in software, I believe. I'm not entirely aware of any other one that does this so accurately and so faithfully. And in fact, there is this comparison thing here. So if we play this little jukebox over here on the right hand side of the page, we should be able to hear the synthesizer playing. This is actually the synthesizer playing in a web browser, which I think is dead clever. And then we can switch to the MKS-80, and it's the same audio recorded. Close. This, by the way, I think if we're going to have an award at the end of the year for best website that demonstrates a synthesizer, this is it. Because this synthesizer, as you can see here, is fully operational within the browser. Genius. I'm sorry, this is brilliant. This is the best way to demonstrate your package, your product online. Just have it operate in the bloody browser. It's fantastic. And this is exactly how the plugin is. And you get all these very useful routings. So when you hover over a particular function, it will show you the modulation routings that are going on here. So easy to use. There's a lovely effects section down there. It's just a brilliant thing. Now, it normally would retail for $99. It's currently on an introductory sale for $59. If you want to run the plugin as a demo, you can download one there as well. I bought this straight away. It was an insta-buy because I've always wanted one of these in the hardware. They're quite difficult to get hold of, not exactly cheap, and not always the most reliable of things, as I'm sure Kent will attest. But this is just, I think, all round, it's a great plugin. It's a great demo. It's a great website. I love this. I think everybody should go out and buy this. I think this is great. Now, Andrew, I think you used the originals back in the old Victorian times.
Back in the 17th century, yes.
Something like that, yeah.
Yes, I did. I've been waiting for someone to do this for such a long time, and I've got to agree with you that the website and the way they've put this up so you can actually play around with it in real time, you can do the comparison. The whole way it works directly on the website is absolutely brilliant.
Yeah.
It's... I love the MKS-80. I think I've said before, I prefer it to the Jupiter 8 and the Jupiter 6. But this doesn't quite do it. This is good. I mean, this is a great synth. It gets close. But there's something sonically about the filtering and the modulation that's not quite there for me. But it's a good thing. I'm still debating whether or not to buy it. because I've wanted one for such a long time, and maybe it's just the way the particular presets have been programmed. So I'm going to play around with it a bit, and I'll let you know.
Well, that's the beauty of this, is that you don't even have to download the demo. You can just go in.
Do you know what? That's the thing. I can actually play around with it and see whether or not it works the way I want. I remember. So yeah. I mean, it's great that they've done it, and it for such a signature synth, where before you would have needed the the MPG 80 as well to program it. This just makes it really, really. It's kind of. Do you know what? I am just going to buy it, aren't I?
Just buy the bloody thing. Do it.
I'm just going to buy it. This is going to be an expensive week for me, by the way, just so you know. This is going to be an expensive show.
Shan't do any more because we copyright strike.
Yeah.
But I thought this was genius when a friend of mine pointed this out to me. I instantly thought, well, I'm gonna buy this because it's a great synth, and if it gets really close, that's all I need to know. But then when I came to the website and I was hovering over, and it's like, oh, what's this? What's all this going on here? This is fun. And then I just happened to click, and look, I'm actually playing with the synth. And then, oh, look, there's keys. What? And then, brilliant. I mean, that's just a brilliant idea for me to do that. And then you've got, you can split the lowers and the upper tones here, and it's just so good.
I use this so much, so much. I tell you what, this is really good for the way I used to use it often. I mean, the bass and all that kind of stuff is great. Strings are great. But a lot of the time I was using it with things like Fender Rhodes or other pianos, electric pianos like DX stuff, and then just putting this analog underneath it with some sample and hold filtering going on, just underneath. So you only just became aware of it. It added so much texture. I think this is just a one. The original was a wonderful thing, and I'm going to play with this and let you know.
Yeah, it really is very, very good. Just to reiterate, and Biscuit has just thrown this up into the chat. It does also work as a program. So if you have an MKS 80, it's 1-to-1. So you can import, export, dump stuff. Really? Yeah. So if you've got the hardware, it's even better because it then doubles. This is what I think when you produce a software clone of a piece of hardware, you should really try and make it as a controller and an editor and a librarian for the hardware as well. If you're going to do like a 1-to-1 like this, then you've got to do that.
And do you know what? Opinion. At this price, we ought to encourage them regardless, just for doing it. I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy this. Well done to them for doing it.
Absolutely. And, to answer Conrad's question, does the download version have the same functionality as the web version, i.e. hovering over the show? Yes, it does. Absolutely does. So you get all of this, and you can see exactly what's going on and where it's going on, and so on and so forth. It's fully capable of that. It really is a great thing. Kent, I mean, I'm sure you've had some of these originals go through the workshop over the years. I mean, I'm personally, I prefer the sound of the Jupiter 6 to the Jupiter 8. So this really, pushes all my buttons. What do you think?
I thought they've been quite brave, actually. In two ways. One is that the website is fully functional of the plugin. So there will be people who will go, well, why buy the plugin? I'll just use the web page. So, but also the other thing was that they did comparisons. Mm-hmm. I thought that was extremely brave of them.
It definitely shows that the developer has got faith in their product.
Yeah,
it just puts it out there.
Yeah, I mean, like Sandra just did, you could hear the differences, but they weren't huge.
No,
weren't huge differences. So yeah, and it was really quite good. I think it's quite nice.
I also have to say that they are quite good at updating. In fact, there's been an update since yesterday. So we're now on version 1.0.8. So when you buy this, you create a little account, and then you can just go there in the user area, and it will tell you if there's a new version. And there is since yesterday. So they've updated it about 8 times since they launched it the other week or last week. So they are constantly tweaking. I don't know exactly what they're tweaking. I'm not sure if there's a release notes list anywhere. But the guy's done some really, really cool stuff as well. If you go to his main page, there's lots of music production and other tools in there. Let's just bring this up on screen. Here we go. So you've got Synth 80, you've got an audio plugin that lets you compare your DAW mix with reference tracks. A simple zero latency limiter plugin for broadcast and in arrangement mastering. Zero. I mean, there's lots of lovely little bits of stuff going on there. So go and check him out. The guy's full name is Jun Takahashi, but he goes under the name of Jun Murakami App Factory. I just think it's great.
Yeah, it's good pricing and everything.
It is. It literally, as our friend Florian says, it ticks all the boxes.
Yeah.
As far as I'm concerned. So yeah, love it. Really enjoy that, and I think everyone should go and buy it. If, of course, they want to buy a synthesizer that is a clone of the MKS-80.
Yay!
No, good stuff. Look forward to whatever else they come up with.
Sorry, there is just one other thing. Although no one else has done a version of this that is so, feature for feature.
Not to my knowledge.
Accurate. We'll see. There are one or two other developers that have included the MKS-80 in some of their sound packs and sound things. So, and we'll come to that later, I'm sure.
Yes. I mean, there is there's one particular company, UVI, who've got a sample-based version of this. But this is a proper synth.
Yeah.
I'm finding myself using sample-based emulations of things far less. In fact, the only things I really can remember using recently that are sample-based versions of samplers, like, for example, emulation. The emulator stuff.
Yeah.
Or Emulator V or Fairlight, the CMI V plugins. Because there are now so many good software versions of all the classic synths. Again, I have to ask the question, Roland?
Yeah, where's
didn't you do this?
Yeah. This is just one of the most hankered after, one of the most sought after pieces of hardware, but it's always out of everyone's price range for the most part. This should do really well. Be really interested to see how many of our lovely audience are looking at maybe buying this.
I think this is one of those little sleeper synths that have just come in unassumingly, and I think this is going to be up for an award at the end of the season.
I think it could be.
I think. Watch this space. We've got 6 months, halfway through the year.
What a beautiful looking interface as well. It does. It just works.
It works. Not only does it work, but it also kind of looks very, of the instrument. But it's in a nice, very good.
Yeah.
Hats off. Well done. Congratulations. It's a great plugin. Right. Let's see if we can carry on the good vibes. What else have we got? Do you want to see me Uranus?
Go on
again.
Again.
Let's get the wide angle out.
A little clip of Uranus.
Okay.
Ciao a tutti e bentrovati. Oggi abbiamo pensato di parlarvi di un progetto che finalmente ha visto la luce. Siamo riusciti appunto a realizzare, io, Marcello Colò e il mitico Marco Molendi, un progetto che avevamo così elaborato tempo addietro.
So I'm guessing that most of you probably didn't understand that. I was struggling a little bit.
You can switch it to English language.
It has been auto-dubbed and there are subtitles as well. But this is what Uranus is all about. Uranus, I don't know.
Uranus.
It all smells the same. That's the original CRB Uranus by CRB Instrumenti Musicali. It was supposed to be like the be all and end all of synthesizers, and the Italian synthesizer market is one that is often overlooked, but shouldn't be, because they did produce some absolute belters over the years. But this was designed to be like a massive, as they say here, monster instrument, and it's now available as a plugin. Not only is it available as a plugin, it's available as a free plugin, no less, but only at the moment in Windows, which is why I can't tell you how good or bad this is. But certainly the demonstrations do kind of imply. Sorry, why am I doing that? Jeez, stop. Why is it doing that? Stop.
Click on the window. Click on the window, and it'll.
There we go. Share this tab. There it is. So here it is, recreated in software, apparently in collaboration with the original designer. It's an amazing synthesizer with lots of VCOs, VCFs, VCAs, etc., etc. It's not the prettiest looking thing in the world, I will grant you. It does have a kind of early 2000s design look to it, but it's a pretty faithful, as far as we can tell, replica of the Uranus. I'm going to have to say it like that, because if I say Uranus, I just giggle like a schoolchild. But there it is. It's only Windows based. Andrew, I know you said you because it's free. Did you try this at all?
Yeah, I managed to spend 20 minutes before the show having a quick look at this. It's magnificent. It's absolutely magnificent. It's kind of like a cross between an 8 voice, an Oberheim 8 voice, and perhaps a System 100. And you can play it polyphonically, you can play it in 2 banks of 4, you can play it as mad unison things, or completely, each voice doing a separate thing. And it's mad. It sounds really good. It's really warm. Great filters on it. And it's free. I mean, it's free. Jeepers.
Yeah. Well,
it's a wonderful... but it is a bit... You will get lost in it for a bit. You just will. But there is a manual with it. There's all sorts of... There's an explanatory video taking you through it when you download it. I think they're going to be making this for Mac as well, but it's an astonishing instrument. And it's one which I remember when this originally was vaunted, was put about as something that would happen. I think they made 5 or 6 of them, most of which ended up going to dealers and never came back. So there was only one left in Italy, and for all sorts of reasons the company went under. But it was a thing. There were instances of this. It also reminds me a little bit, Kent, of the anaglyph. Huh?
Yeah. Yeah. I must admit, I like the authenticity of it. I like the way they've given him. The guy's given it the traditional Italian look of the keys yellowing.
Yeah.
which the cheaper plastic keys used to do back in the day. They would yellow very quickly.
So I'm going to download this and stick it on my VM.
They look like a set of English teeth.
So there we go. That's downloading. Right. It's of course it has given us some interesting. Does Uranus have a ring modulator? Uranus isn't the prettiest thing I've seen.
No, it's not, but it's what it looked like in the day. I mean, it's not entirely unlike the 8 voice in terms of the colour.
True.
Yeah.
Or the ARPs, it could be a white-faced ARP almost, but yeah. Yeah. But it sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, any bum notes, actually. Lots, trust me.
They're all coming in here. They're all coming in. I mean, it's when you said a warm Uranus. I kind of lost it for a little bit.
Here we go.
Yeah. Oh, God, I'm such a child. Such a child. But there you go. Listen, I'm a big fan of Italian synthesizers for more reasons than just my nationality. But this is, maybe they'll bleach keys like they bleach rains.
Uranus.
Oh, stop.
Stop.
Grow up.
So when is somebody going to call, one of these plugins or something, Celadus? There's so many moons that get completely ignored.
No.
This is what it was called originally, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not the point.
I mean, I suppose they were going for, well, we've had the Jupiters.
Yeah.
And we've had Saturns.
The Batty?
Yeah, they could have called it Neptune. I don't know. Was there a synth called Neptune? Has there been a Neptune synth?
Neptune? Not that I'm aware of.
Venus? Mercury? Well, Mercury, we've got Cherry Audio Mercuries, but...
Yeah, you've got Saturn.
Yeah, but not Saturn. Neptunes. No Plutos, although debatable. I don't know. Has Pluto, because it keeps being like
Pluto?
Demoted from a planet.
They still haven't made up their mind if Pluto is a plug-in or not.
It's a dwarf. They kind of. It's a dwarf. It is a dwarf planet.
Is it a synth or a sampler? They really can't make
Yeah,
it.
quite.
Yeah, it's been demoted, but
Yeah,
It's a rack mount now.
yeah,
indeed.
yeah, it's a foot pedal.
Yeah. Ah, dear. Anyway, there you
But
go.
get it. If you can, get it.
Yeah.
Try it. You
It's
really
free.
won't be
I mean,
disappointed. Yeah.
Unfortunately, say it is only Windows at the moment, but hopefully that will change soon.
Yay.
But yeah, give it a go. Say it's not the most pretty or the prettiest thing in the world, but it's all there. Have a go. Let us know
But
what you
sorry,
think.
just on that, the prettiness, it does. You get used to the interface really quickly, and what's really good is you really can see what's going on very quickly indeed.
Yeah.
You can see what the sound's going to be for each of the oscillators and the voices. It's a good thing. It's a really good thing.
Indeed. And our last comment goes to escape limitations. Oh, dear. Let's see.
Take a seat.
Yes. Right. Where do we go now? I
I don't know.
I think.
The hell is the next one called?
Well, I think we should move. We should just calm down and
Calm down.
be a little more serious for the next thing, because I think the next thing is actually really dead flipping clever. And I'll be interested to see what you guys think about this. This is brand new from Former Labs Audio. Let's just play a little bit of the preview video. We'll probably just chop it off after about a minute or so, because it's about an 8.5 minute demo. But this is Filament. So, what's going on there? What you heard there was one single track of MIDI data being played through multiple instruments. Not just one instrument, lots of different multi-timbral settings. Multiple plugins. Filament is an orchestration, real-time orchestration plugin. One instance of Filament on one MIDI track will allow you to host 64 plugins. So you can have all of your orchestra plugins. Maybe you've just got a violin plugin that you like, or a cello plugin that you like. or any of those other things, you can load up to 64 instances and then have 8 banks of 8 groupings, and with a chord revoicer. And what does that mean? It means that when you're playing your orchestral instruments, they are being voiced in the correct way. So you assign cellos to the low end and violins to the upper end, and other instruments across the entire spectrum if you wish. This will work all of that stuff out for you, but you can also go in and dig in the weeds yourself and come up with everything that you want it to be. It's got arpeggiators on every track. That's 64 arpeggiators that you can have. It's got an internal mixer. You can do everything in this one instance. And then, of course, you can have multiple instances of this per track if you wish. It's a really, really powerful tool. And Will, the developer, got in touch with me a couple of weeks ago, very graciously sent me a review copy to test. And I have literally just scratched the surface of this. I've just thrown in, what did I put in? BBC SO, some other Spitfire bits that I had. I think I put a Veer harmonic in there as well, and just assigned them. And I found that as I was playing up and down the keyboard, everything was sounding exactly how it should sound. The right instruments were playing in the right ranges. It was very, very clever. And I'm not entirely sure how it works, how it does what it does, but it does it really bloody well. And it's literally just come out. It came out on July 1st. There's a 2-week introductory offer. It's normally £149, which I don't think is horribly expensive in its own right, considering what it can do. But they've knocked 50 quid off for the introductory offer for 2 weeks. It's a very, very cool thing. And I was talking with Will, and I said, this is great. I know somebody who would really, really like this. And I did ask if Ty could be sent a copy. Haven't heard back from Ty, but from his initial thoughts, this is incredibly good. It's very similar to a thing called Divisimate, which is a lot more expensive. But this one seems to be a really easy to use thing. And what Will was saying was that it wasn't just people who use orchestral sample libraries or orchestral instruments. He's finding a lot of the people that have been testing this have been having huge amounts of fun with just regular synthesizers. Assigning synthesizers to various ranges within the spectrum and then playing away. He says they're having loads of fun. And I can see exactly why they're doing that. This is a really, really cool tool. And for a first attempt, it's cracking. So let's just there it is, right there. As they say in the blurb here, it's you can have all the string libraries in the world, but if you play it like a keyboard player, it ain't going to sound the same. This really gets you much, much closer to sounding like a real orchestra within just a single self-contained DAW track, 64 instruments, all assigned. There's automatic functions, or you could say you can get in there and tweak to your heart's content. It's a full license. There's no subscriptions or anything like that. You can activate it onto 3 machines. It comes as a VST3 audio unit and also a standalone version of the plugin. I'm going to come to Kent because he likes his orchestral arrangement stuff. What do you think? Do you have Divisimate? Do you use that already or not?
No, I don't use Divisimate. I'd always had a particular workflow, but I was, funnily enough, talking to Ty about this only a couple of weeks ago about changing the workflow of how I do this. This is interesting. I'm not entirely sure about the whole where it sets out the keyboard, the ranges for the instruments, because in the sample libraries that's already set.
Not really always. They will let you play the instrument within its range, but if you want to play a piece in and sequence a piece in, this allows you to place all the instruments where you want them to be rather than where they tell you they should be played. See what I mean?
No.
I guess you got to try it, I suppose.
Yeah, I think I'll have to try this too, because there's clearly more to this. I think I'd have to have a a sniff at it to really be able to comment on it. To be honest,
give it a go. Let us know what you think, Andrew.
When I get £100, I will.
Yeah,
I've got a project that I really need something like this for, so I had a quick look around it, as it were. It's actually quite astonishingly clever. It's not... to try and give you a sense of it, if you put all of your libraries in, because you can put 64 different, different strings, horns, synths, bass guitars, whatever. If they already have a preset range, it kind of recognises that, and if not, it you can put your own barriers in to stop it going over a certain thing. But what's really clever is it takes whatever you're playing, the input you're playing, maybe octaves and some sort of a triad with a whatever, and it will not just play that. It will assign. It has its own internal algorithms which you can change and play around with, and it has lots of templates. But essentially, it says, okay, we know that's an octave note. We maybe assign the top of the octave in the bass to cellos, the bottom one to double bass or to a synth or whatever, and then it will look at the right hand and say, well, in an orchestra you wouldn't normally have a triad played by the violins or whatever, so it'll say, okay, we'll take the fundamental and the fifth, and we'll play that in one of the sections, and then we'll take the melody and put that up to a different one. Maybe the third will play up at the top. It may even take it up by an octave. So what that actually means is when you hold down a chord, it's actually routing it through to what an arranger would do with the voicings for the chords you're playing. And it makes a huge difference. It sounds really, really good. You still need to do some tweaking, but there's lots of macros on here, so you can play around with stuff. You can switch between different voice sets and different groupings and different templates, and you can add all of these arpeggios and things which sound really natural. I think this is probably the most exciting and interesting piece of not sound creation but sound management software I've seen for a really long time. And I said it was going to be an expensive week. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm buying it.
Now you've described it like that, then yeah, I'm buying it.
Yeah, it's an astonishing thing. Will, if you're listening to the show, you've done a great job. You and your team, if you've got one, done a great job with this.
I spoke to Will earlier, and he said that he's normally putting his 2-year-old to bed, which can, at this time of a Friday evening, which can sometimes take between 30 minutes and 2 hours. So hopefully he will be watching either, hopefully on catch up. But he's done a great job. I mean, it's so much fun.
And it looks so good. The interface is really very clever. Good interface.
I will say, and I hope Will doesn't mind me saying this, when I installed it, because obviously I've got a big, wide, high-res screen, and my eyesight's not what it used to be. So I generally, make these things quite large. It does get a little fuzzy around the edges when you make it larger. But I did point this out, and he did say that's absolutely, we know that. That's going to be taken care of in a couple of updates or something, but we wanted to get the whole thing out there with the functionality. So if you do get this and you think there's a little fuzzy around the edges, no, it's not. It's not detrimental to the use of the thing. Just be aware that that's being taken care of.
And I think you said earlier as well, this is just one track. So although it's a plugin that can host up to 64 different plugins, and you can do all of this orchestration just from it's one track. It's one track, so you can still do all the other stuff you do. It's just for adding strings or some orchestration to a song that's already been done with synths and guitars and drums and bass or whatever. This is a really good tool.
It's going to take a lot of work out of it.
Yeah, it is.
That's the thing. It's because normally when we're putting something together, there's a lot of fecking around. An awful lot of fecking around.
And sometimes, do you find, Ken and Robbie, do you find that when you're doing, either strings or brass or whatever, anything orchestral, without something like this, you kind of go, that doesn't sound quite right, and you're not quite sure why.
Yeah.
This has kind of made it obvious because it's done what an arranger would do, which is let's take that and boost the melody up an octave and, it places stuff really well. It's a very, very clever It's very clever. I love it. Will, you're a genius, mate. You're a genius.
Yeah, that makes
Well
a lot more. Like you say, it makes a lot more sense now.
Because when I mentioned this to Ty, I mean, I didn't know whether Ty was using anything similar to this, and I thought he would likely turn around and say, "Oh, but that's cheating." No, I like complete control over every element. He was like, "Oh no, this is great. Use something like this all the time." So this is it's not just it's not a cheat or a work a shortcut or a workaround. It's just a really clever tool that gets you to a much further.
It's got a built-in mixer as well, so it's got a built-in mixer. So you can control all of the plugins you have. You can control the volumes and the panning. You can assign a macro to deal with things like expression or whatever. And you can add your own effects to each one of these plugins if you don't want to use their own. It's astonishingly clever. It's a really, really well thought through piece of software.
It's that bottom line of if you get the proper tools, you get a better job.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Like my secateurs that I bought. Electric secretary.
Yes.
No, this is good. This is really good. Very exciting.
Formulabsaudio.com is where you can go and buy this. I can't remember if there was a demo version. I don't think there is. But there is a 2-week launch offer, so you get 50 quid off the price until July 14th. And there is a 14-day refund policy. So I guess that kind of works as a demo, isn't it? Buy it, try it. If you don't like it, get your money back.
Wookie has just asked latency, what's it like? And honestly, it's no different from any other plugin because it's the latency of the plugins that you're dealing with, really. And it has a built. Sorry, it has a built-in. It has a built-in compensation, latency compensation
offset
for each of the plugins you're using, but it's the same as you would normally use it to all intents and purposes. There's no more lag with this than there would be with anything else.
Well, that in itself makes it worth every penny because the amount of times because I've got a brass library, essential brass library. It's really beautiful, but the latency is quite long, and you play it in, and then you have to go in and move all of the MIDI data back. For what you've just played, so that the actual instrument happens at the correct time. The key was on, spot on.
Right. If there's already latency, Kent, then it will record that latency. So you record the MIDI part. If it's already there in the instrument, it's going to be there. But when it plays back, you can adjust the latency so it sits exactly where you need it to be. Yeah. Within this plugin, and you can save that as a template. So if you use that particular library again, it will always remember that. So really clever. It's very clever.
That on it alone makes it worth every penny.
No, it's a very good thing. Great stuff. Well done, Will, and well done, Formulabs Audio. It's an incredibly powerful tool, and one that will help a lot of people. I think
I'll be buying that in about an hour.
Yeah, this is a great find, Robbie. Thank you for this. Really, really good.
Yeah.
Well, got to thank Formulabs Audio for bringing it to our attention. So, there we go. Right, what is the time? 5 to 8. We're almost halfway through the show. We've done Synth 80, and we've done Filament, and we've also done the Uranus. I have to say it like that because I do giggle like a schoolgirl. We've got some interesting other bits and bobs. Some new stuff from UVI. We've got a brilliant tool if you've got a teenage engineering rhythm. Didn't see this one coming down the track. We've got a recreation of another Ensoniq instrument, which we'll talk about in a bit as well. And of course, we're going to look at what we did at Cambridge last weekend with the ProSynth Network live stand at Synthesized. And we've also got some news from the world of Isotope, which I'm sure you've all probably seen, but we'll have a little chat about that maybe towards the end of the show. To take us across the hour mark, why don't we have some viewer music?
Yay!
Got a piece.
Yay!
So this was sent in. I was going to play this last week, but we kind of ran out of time. So apologies, George. I'm going to play it all in its entirety now. George Nelson sent this in. He goes under the name of Thing Cycling. And he's got a new album coming out, and he provided us with a taster. Now, if I'm not mistaken, let me just bring this up here because this is quite an interesting little piece of background to this. So George created a Synthspirations video for us a while back, and to do that, he created some new pieces of music to go under the background. And so he actually decided to make an entire album from those pieces of music, and then further expand on those. So Synthspirations has led literally to become a Synthspiration of its own. So he's replaced copyrighted music, and he just kept going with that theme, and he's basically got an album to give us. The album is called The Earth Runs Wild Again, and this is an album taster for you. So sit back and enjoy 7 minutes and 13 seconds of The Earth Runs Wild Again by Things Cycling.
Wow.
Not bad, eh?
Wow. Well,
Glad to see some other people were getting Stephen Wilson, Porcupine Tree, that kind of stuff from that. I certainly did. I'm sure we've played some of George's stuff on here before, because I've got him saved in my Apple Music account. By the way, you can get that entire album on Spotify and Apple Music. I was trying to find somewhere where it's for sale. I couldn't find a Bandcamp page. I was looking for one, but if somebody knows of that, let me know and I'll share that in the chat. But the album is called The Earth Runs Wild Again. It's a 26-track album. Only it lasts an hour and 6 minutes, so some of those tracks are rather short. But it's it's a bit of a belter, that one. A bit of a belter. Thank you very much indeed to George, aka Thing Cycling, for sending that in. Please do go and check them out and listen to more of their music. And if you want to send in your very own piece of music for us to play, then all you got to do is just try and set it to some sort of video. Preferably all of this has got to be copyright free, otherwise we get a slap on the wrist. But send it in to us. Rob@ProSynthNetwork.com is a good place to send it, or even just ProSynthNetwork@gmail.com. Either way, it gets through here. If it's a big file, send it via a file sharing transfer thing like WeTransfer, just to ease the load on the email servers, and we will play your track out. And we've had some absolute belters. We should maybe curate a Bandcamp compilation with maybe the proceeds going to some one of our favourite organisations that we like to support. That's an idea. But I think it means I'm going to have to go through all of the shows to figure out who to get in touch with. But yeah, why not? Let's try something like that. So there we go. And don't forget, of course, we still want your synthspirations if you've forgotten all about synthspirations.
Yeah, we haven't had one for a while now.
No. And this is all what it's all about. We want to know what music inspired you to make music with synthesizers. Be it an album, single, or an entire artist's body of work, we want you to tell us why it inspired you, and given that we're a synth show, which instruments used on that album really made an impact. All you need to do is film yourself talking about your synthspiration for a few minutes, and we'll feature it on the show and discuss it. Send your video clips along with your name or handle to prosynthnetwork@gmail.com using a file sharing service like WeTransfer, and you could feature on a ProSynth Network live show soon. There you go. That's all you got to do. So send those in to us, and we'd love to play those out. Because look, some guy turned it into an album, which is brilliant.
The Wookiees just asked, what's considered a big file, Robbie? For sending stuff across.
If you're going to send an email, make sure it's if it's under 20 or 30 megabytes, that'll be fine. But if it's over that, then just use a file sharing transfer. Swiss Transfer is the one I use nowadays because you can put really big files on there. But WeTransfer is another one. They're all completely free of charge. You just dump the file in there, put the email address in there, which is rob@prosynthnetwork.com or prosynthnetwork@gmail.com, and it will transfer the file over and I'll download it. Or if you've got a Dropbox service and you can share Dropbox links, then do that as well. Either way, it's just that a lot of email servers don't like big extensions. Big extensions. If you're using Apple Mail, you can use MailDrop, which works absolutely fine as well. So whichever you find is easiest for you, send it in to us.
And can someone send 99 quid across? Because I just bought filament and I'd like to. Can someone else pay for it? No.
Fat chance. Sorry. Anyway, let's talk about a new synthesizer. I'm going to have to black the screen out for this one because the video is not a full kind of thing. So Anyway, I'm going to do this. This is brand new. Well, I say brand new. It's an update from Valdorf. been putting off buying this for a little while. I think I might need to get this. This is the Microwave 1 plugin, of course. The Microwave 1 was Waldorf's, I believe, first hardware instrument, which borrowed a lot from the PPG Wave, and then did some extra stuff. The version 2 features expanded polyphony via additional virtual voice cards, giving you up to 32 voices with preserved micro timing variation, new playback modes including round robins, polyphonic arpeggiator per instrument part, and a global arpeggiator with round robin options, creative delays with filter, tremolo, diffusion and pitch shifting, a completely redesigned preset browser which allows you to mark favorites and search and do direct instrument part loading, multi-level undo redo, simultaneous editing of multiple instrument parts, and new presets from mixer, engineer and producer Chuck Zwicky, who I've never heard of, so I have no idea who that might be. But yeah, it's a great plugin, and of course it's a great hardware instrument. It has a great following, as we all know. The Waldorf Microwave, or Waldorf, should I say? I'll get Mr. Brooks chasing me up for my Germanic pronunciation. But yeah, this, I think I'm gonna definitely have to get on board now with this one, because this seems to do some amazing things. I've already got the Protein hardware unit, which is not obviously the same, but it does give me that kind of gritty, kind of 8-bitty wavetable thing. But then so does the Behringer Wave. So yeah, wavetables, they're the new thing apparently. But there you go. Any thoughts on this one? I'm not looking for in-depth insight, but it's a nice little plugin. It's not bad. It's €99.
Yeah, it's not bad at all.
Or it's a small €29 upgrade if you already got the original one, the version 1.
Yeah.
Any thoughts on this?
Yeah, the sound of this is really good. I'm always really surprised with the Waldorf Microwave, just how analog it does sound, and you can certainly do all of the wavetable stuff, but just using it as a synth, it's an amazing sounding thing. It really is. So, and I think this one compares 1-to-1 with the hardware. Its sample rate is through the roof. I can't remember what it is now, 384 kilobytes or something. Kilohertz. So, I think it sounds really, really good, and it's certainly one of those instruments that if you want an arsenal of original wavetable synthesis, this is probably the thing to get. It's a really good thing. Sounds great.
It does seem that we have had an influx of wavetable instruments of late.
Yeah.
It seems to be kind of just doing the rounds, but these guys know how to do wavetables, if anybody does, given their background and history.
Yeah.
Well, I think a lot of people as well have been latching onto the wavetable thing and almost building in the ability to do wavetable scanning as part of having lots and lots of waves available, as it were, rather than designing from the ground up with that as the focus. This is kind of the granddaddy of all of these, isn't it?
Yeah, with great heritage, 'cause is it Rolf? I can't remember the guy behind it. Didn't he used to distribute PPG back in the day? So I mean, he's got all of that history behind him, and the fact that he's kind of carried on Wolfgang's work, beyond with all sorts of wonderful things like the microwave, and of course the quantums and everything else. That's I mean the Protein I think is a fantastic little tabletop synthesizer with all of that kind of lovely wavetable stuff that we enjoyed 20-30 years ago. It's a very, very nice little thing. Ken, any thoughts on the Microwave 1 plugin?
Yeah, it sounded quite nice. Yeah.
Do you ever use any wavetable stuff, Kent?
Not a great deal, no.
He waves at his table in the kitchen sometimes as he's passing.
Yeah,
that was an awkward silence there.
Yeah. when I can see the table, it's not covered in Mustang parts.
Indeed. Anyway, there we go.
Anyway.
So Microwave 1 version 2 is out now. There is a low-cost upgrade for version 1 owners, and there is an introductory offer, I believe, which is €99, which is €50 off the full price of 149. So go and fill your boots if that floats your boat. Let's see, what have we got here? I'm going to talk about this. Let's see if we can get this up. So this is new from EMW, Electronic Music Works. They are a modular manufacturer, but they have just started to produce a range of small little synthesizer boxes for under $400, which are rather interesting. And this is the latest one, which is called the V-Poly 6X. Let's have a little listen to this. I'm going to stop it there because I really like that, by the way, and I could watch all 2.5 minutes of that demonstration. EMW, Electronic Music Works, are a Brazilian company, and this is we don't have a web page for this. It's not even on their website yet, but they just released that video. It is inspired by, but not a clone of, the Korg Poly 6, which you might have gathered from the name. So it features a single oscillator with saw pulse and width and pulse width modulation, plus a sub oscillator per voice. But it has a multi-mode 12 to 24 dB low pass, high pass, and band pass filter. So it kind of is a little bit like it, a little bit not like it. But it comes with full MIDI support, including CCs for every parameter, which is just as well, because if we go to their website, they've already got something that's very similar to this, inspired by what is, quite frankly, the greatest synthesizer known to man, the DX7. They've got this thing called the DX7000, which is the same sort of thing. So it's a kind of a big synth in the box, but with two knobs, and two knobs alone, and a little screen. One knob is the volume knob, and the other one is the encoder knob. And it contains over 1100 FM sounds in a single box with MIDI in, MIDI out, MIDI through, and audio out. It's very, very, very simple. The V-Poly 6X is a kind of a version of this, but with the instead of being an FM synthesizer, it's a version, or inspired by, should I say, the Korg Poly 6. So I'm assuming that the V-Poly will probably retail around the same price of $365 US. But it's going to be an absolute dog's dinner to get into that and mess around with it, because it's only over CC, and that's going to be a bit painful. I mean, all right, so it might have thousands of presets. Great, if you want a preset machine, but surely, I mean, I'm not entirely sure what they're trying to do with this. I know they did a module. If I go back to their Eurorack page, which gives me the heebie-jeebies, they did actually have a Wave 6 polyphonic module. So this is clearly a derivative of that they've just managed to put into a box. I don't know. This kind of baffles me a little bit, because it sounds great. It's a really nice sound, but if you want to dig in and mess around, you've got to do it all through CCs, and that's not exactly easy.
No, I mean, that's one sound we've heard. What do the rest of them sound like?
Yeah,
How,
exactly.
getting it. There's not enough there to really make. There's certainly not enough there to make you want to go and buy it, and it looks like it'll be a colossal pain to actually edit. But it's it's always nice that someone's putting something new out. It's just, is that enough? Does it need a display on the front? Does it need
It's got a little display, but I mean it is little, and it's not really going to.
So is it a similar size to the one that's on the?
So just let me get back here. So yeah, it's going to look like that, but with V-Poly 6X on it, rather. Yeah, so it's the same thing, same concept. Small screen, single rotary encoder, which I guess is a clickable encoder, and a volume knob.
No USB.
No USB, I don't believe. Let's have a quick look on the back.
No.
Oops.
And no desktop. Editor.
Not that I'm aware of. I mean, I might be wrong, but there's not a lot of information out there about this at the moment. They've also done this one, which looked a little interesting, which is a standalone desktop monophonic synthesizer in this little kind of. But again, this has got a little bit more control over it, but these other ones don't. I'm just struggling to see what the benefit is over it just being a preset box.
Yeah, I'm struggling. Kent, you?
Well, I could have watched that video for 4 days, and I would never have thought it had anything to do with Polysix. I'm not quite sure what the influence is that they're talking about.
Well, it's not.
If anything, it sounded more like the AN engine in the montage.
Right. It did. It sounded like there was more than one oscillator being used, didn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, they have. Just to be fair to them, they have emphasised that it's not a direct clone of a Polysix. It's inspired by, rather than, trying to reproduce it. What they wanted to do is just deliver that kind of sound in a simple box. But I just don't understand why.
I don't want to be too critical, but sometimes when people use the word inspired, it means no, it doesn't actually sound like it.
Which is fair enough.
Yeah, because it's sort of like get sort of thing. It's inspired by. Oh, okay.
And it's also not genuine analog; it is virtual analog. So it's just worth pointing.
Yeah, but it's weird. We just have the 2 controls and everything. It's very reminiscent of what was that absolute pain in the arse keyboard you bought? It literally had like just 2 knobs on it, and you had to lots of scrolling, and you could only do what it did. There was no getting into. I can't remember what
DX7?
it was.
No.
DX7, DX7.
No, poor old DX. No, I can't remember. It was
Poly 800.
Something like that. It was just an absolute nightmare. I mean, it was nice little sounds, and it was quite cheap, which is, which was its selling point. And MIDI in and audio out, and that was your lot.
But you can get a 6-voice synth in hardware with lots of controls on the front for around about this price. From
you could buy a couple of Behringers for that.
Yeah, you could.
And
that's the thing.
You can get a Poly 800. I don't know, for probably the same price, if not less. The
if
Behringer
you're
one.
unfortunate, yeah.
But no,
I don't know.
It's
But
true.
I'm just wondering now whether the revisit is just it's done now. Start doing stuff different, new.
And
I know that's not as easy as it sounds.
Great, so.
Yeah.
Their website's kind of interesting though, in that you can change the colour, the amplitude, the frequency, the speed, and the waveforms on the top there, just by moving those sliders.
Right. Yes.
Is that enough to justify 365? We need to know more. I'd be interested to see when it comes out whether or not they've done any more to it.
Yeah.
It's a little preset box. It's fine.
But there are others.
But there's software that can do it as well. But if you're on the road,
I just think for that money, I think for the money, you can do better than that.
Yeah.
They've already done better than that with the WCS, because at least you've got controls on that thing, whereas this is just a preset box. And yeah, fine, if that's what you want, go for it. But it's
It's like that
I think
system
you can
15
get something
looks all right,
way better, way more flexible for your money. But we'll see. Somebody might come up with a lovely kind of software editor for it, and then that kind of, I don't know.
Yeah.
EMW, Electronic Music Works. Go and check out. They say there's no information on the website. They've literally just announced that and the DX7000 FM synthesizer, which I wager is probably DexEd running on a board of some description. And I wouldn't be surprised if this V-Poly 6X is like a Pi-based thing as well. So.
I've got to say, I do find it odd that someone that's making stuff, primarily they started out for Euro rack modular stuff, where everything is about being able to control every last aspect. Having a box that doesn't give you any control at all other than volume and patch number or whatever, it just feels it's a really curious sidestep without having at least some software to control it.
Yeah.
Just feels odd.
Yeah.
Might have been a financial decision.
Could be. Could be.
I wish them luck. I hope people love it.
Yeah. Indeed. Right, let's move on. UVI have got something new out. So, Synth Anthology number 5. Number 5, alive! Synthesizer tour de force, it says on the tin, and it kind of is. It's a very cool, simple instrument. You take two samples from instruments and you blend them together and you give them a whole bunch of performance abilities within a plugin, and you've got what is one huge collection, albeit not completely extensive and exhaustive, of 300 synths in a single plugin that you can use either on their own or, say, in tandem with others. First thing that I noticed about this, I don't know if you've just seen it fly by on the screen, they're flicking through a number of the synthesizers, but wait, see, look, they've got a Behringer in there. They've sampled a Behringer synthesizer and thrown it out. I wonder how Uli feels about that. But yeah,
probably, I mean, like every other manufacturer.
Well, quite, yeah. Obviously, UVI have got a massive reputation for sampling the living hell out of a huge number of vintage and modern synthesizers, and then making really cool instruments from them that are all sample based, yet still have a number of controls that you can shape the sound with and do wonderful things with. This insanely priced, and I say insane in a good way, it's €89 on offer. Full price is still only €149. Gathers up probably the greatest hits. I think that's what we can think of this as. It's a kind of greatest hits of taking a whole bunch of samples and then mixing them up into some really interesting combinations. Of course, you can mix your own. Entirely up to you. You can pick the instrument and mix them together. There are 300 synthesizers, over 6,000 sound layers created on them. And the list is huge and extensive. That's the analog synths just there, vintage analog. Then you've got modern analog. You've got analog modeling. You've got FM informants. You've got wavetable and digitals. You've got vector synths in there, additive synths, PCM-based synths, samplers as well. So there's just a huge amount of stuff that you can layer together in this wonderful thing. I just think, for the price, €89, if you're looking for something that's kind of a Swiss Army knife, a jack of all trades and yet master of none kind of tool that you can just go along with. And of course, it does come with MPE control as well. You could do far, far worse. I mean, you've got arpeggiators per layer and all sorts of little sonic tweaking. You don't get right into the weeds with them, but you've got enough there to kind of make this stuff your own.
Yeah.
I think UVI have really done another great job here. I mean, the Synth Anthology has been around for a while. As you can see, it's on version 5. This is actually a really good instrument. Of course, if you've got the UVI Sonic Pass, it's already in your library. Go and download it and have a play around. But thoughts about this one, gentlemen?
Well, I think anything that has the Tysco SX400 in it is a winner, to be honest.
It's a good one, yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So, I think, did I see an MS2000 in there as well?
Yes, you did.
Yep.
Yeah,
You
I thought
absolutely
so.
did. Yeah.
Yeah, well, you know, €89, which is what? 72 quid, isn't it?
Yeah, about
It's about 80 quid.
Right.
80 quid, 79 quid, something
Okay,
like that.
all right, so, yeah,
It's a no-brainer.
but 300 synthesizers and 6,000 patches. Okay.
Yeah. I
Bit of
mean,
a
I do like the
no-brainer.
fact that they've sampled the hell out of a whole bunch of Behringer stuff.
Yeah.
It's
So-
such a kind of
How's it
sweet-
feel, bitch?
Yeah.
So Robbie and I were talking about this before the show, and because I've now become something of an aficionado for MPE, this immediately grabbed my attention. Two other things that grabbed my attention about this. One is that it's got this new filter section, and the filtering in it, you can change different filter models. They're astonishing, absolutely astonishing. Some really good stuff there. The second is, back in the noughties, we all had essentially romplers. We had the Roland JV series and the EMU Proteus 2000 series, which everyone loved. They had some brilliant sounds, but it was all based on sampled waveforms.
Yeah.
And then the engine went on top. That's what this is, except it's for 400 synths. And for the longest time, I've kind of held off getting involved in this because it was sample based, and I do prefer to have physically modelled synths. But I've thought about it since we talked, which was only an hour or so ago. And if you treat this like a rompler, but with all this additional stuff, I think this is an absolute steal. And they've clearly found a way to present sounds and to give you some level of control over them. At 89 euros? I mean, that's nuts.
Yeah.
I said it was going to be an expensive week. I think I've spent about 250 quid so far.
I'm sure
today,
I've seen...
and I don't have it.
I'm sure I've seen software packages like this before now, back in the day, but they were like $499
Yeah.
and stuff like that, not $89.
That's what I was expecting this to be.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's nuts.
Plus, it's UVI.
Yeah.
I'm trying to
I mean,
think of
quality's
something
impeccable.
UVI that was shite. I can't think of anything UVI.
I mean, quite frankly, when it comes to UVI, don't buy the individual instruments. Just get the Sonic Pass, because it's
Yeah.
probably the best value subscription that you can have out there. Because it's it's €240 for the year, or €24 a month, which is about 20 quid or £200 for the year.
Yeah.
And you get, I don't know how much. It's huge, absolutely huge. Range of instruments, effects.
Just for the
add-ons.
effects, it's worth it, isn't it?
Falcon on its own.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Such a powerful instrument. Such a powerful
And
instrument.
everything
And
that
then they
sits on it.
Exactly.
Yeah. And then they release this with full MPE
Yeah.
for 89
Yeah.
euros. You think, well, if this
Yeah.
is 89, it's not that much more for 249. Well, it is much more. It is. But it's, is it time to just bite the bullet and get Sonic Pass? But
Yeah. But you do get an awful lot with that.
Yeah.
yeah. Just
Once
check
you
out,
do go.
watch the video, though, and check out the filtering, because they've got a whole section about that. It's nuts. It's really, really good. Lovely filters, really creamy. Lots of bass end. Ooh. Suits you, sir.
Now, they consistently put out really good stuff. And they just don't seem to know when to stop. But because was it only a couple of weeks ago we were talking about Rumble, the multi-band bass synthesizer, which was incredibly good. So yeah, good stuff. Well done, UVI. Keep it up as always. Right, let's see. What should we talk about now? Well, I'm going to talk about this, but I'm a little. I don't want to be too harsh on this, but I think I might end up being. But we've got no video for this because the developer's only done like a couple of videos, they're about 8 or 9 minutes long, and there's no kind of like real insight, not proper demo of the unit. So it seems like Ensoniq are the flavour du jour when it comes to instrument recreations of late. Of course, we had the Cherry Audio one a couple of weeks ago, the ESQ1. Well, the ASR10 keyboard, and there was a rack mount version of it as well, has kind of developed a bit of a cult following within particularly the hip-hop community. It was an affordable keyboard sampler that you could do a whole bunch of stuff with sequencing and that. And it seems now that there are a couple of options when it comes to recreating this. There's Oak Sampler, which I don't think we covered, and I think maybe we will at some point, and that's a proper hardware recreation. But there has also been a software recreation from a brand new company called HairTech, H-A-R-E, HairTech, and it's called ASR-V. Now, I first became aware of this when they dropped a press release into my inbox that said, we're at beta level. If you want to get the beta version, it's going to cost you $99.99 US. When we go to version 1, you'll get version 1 at no extra cost for the lifetime of version 1. Obviously, after version 1, there'll probably be upgrade prices. Now, I was kind of instantly put off by the fact that a software developer was asking me to front up £100 or $100, should I say, for a beta version. There's no demo, there's nothing like that. Now I get that, I think it's a one-man band operation. I get that, and funds are tight, and maybe he's doing this in between the day job, paying the bills, get all of that. But still, asking for $100 for a beta version. Now, to be fair, the full version has been released. It's available now. The full version was going to be priced at $199.99. So again, that was a little bit of a red flag, because some of the top software plugin developers aren't even charging $199.99 for their plugins, albeit they are obviously bigger and employ more people and have more budget and what have you. But I still think $199.99 from a first-time developer is probably a bit steep. But anyway, here it is, ASR-V. They have now kind of jiggled their pricing so that there are, there are plans. So you can get ASR-V. Again, this has literally happened within 24 hours. Version 1 license for $99.99. So that's come down. So that's now back at the beta price. But there's also now ASR-V Ultimate. This was not mentioned before. So you get everything plus stem separation, auto chop, sync to tempo, and a modern effects pack, plus everything that's in the regular one. Again, this kind of smacks of someone who hasn't sat down and properly thought through.
Most of those features are available in most stores already.
It should be already in it.
Yeah. I think what should have happened is they just said, right, $99.99, okay, across the board. Invite people to do a beta test. You can easily lock down the beta test so that when that happens, when that ends, you can shut off access to beta testers and so, or give them a discount and whatever. It doesn't, and this offer apparently is only available for the next 2.5 days.
And the sample library that doesn't ship with it?
I don't know what the sample library is included. If there is all 62 original ASR10 effects, loads real and Ensoniq discs, either floppies or image exports from the original. Doesn't say if it has any library content in there.
Doesn't say at all.
No, I mean, if you look through the details, they claim to have faithfully recreated the sound engine and the effects processor. And the sampling capabilities, that low 29.8 that obviously gives it its kind of gritty character. Look, I'm all for supporting new developers that are bringing out something that I don't think currently exists. I don't think there's an ASR 10 plugin out there, so this is probably the first. So credit to the guy for doing that. But I think the pricing whole thing is a little bit off-putting. I mean, what if on day one I paid $199.99? Or actually, I think they actually changed it within minutes of launching to $149. Now I realise I can get it for $99.
And I don't know of any other sampler that's ever been released, a soft sampler that's been released without some original samples.
Yeah.
You know, that's part of the charm of it, is that some of the original samples that you used on these things when they came out, you know, the Emu 2, the Fairlights, the whatever, all of these things, it mattered. Those samples mattered.
As we know with the ESQ1 that Cherry Audio did, if the waveforms for the ESQ1 were still the IP of Creative Technology, which they are, and Cherry Audio got permission to use them, one would then assume that any factory samples from the ASR are probably still the IP of Creative. And I'm sure there are loads of ASR sample libraries, you know, the originals out there floating around on the internet. But can you include them in a product and sell them at a, you know, you probably can't.
And that's why they're not there.
And that's probably why they're not there.
And I just hate seeing C plans. As soon as it says plans, that smacks of, at some point, subscription, and every single thing, any update to this, it will be another charge. I mean, I get it. You know, they're trying to make the money back. This is, you know, as it stands, this is perhaps a $30 for this. Any more than that, I wouldn't pay.
I think $99.99 is probably quite reasonable for the whole thing. But
for the whole thing, if it had a library as well. As we find with a lot of very, very clever people who can do great software programming or great hardware design, they don't always make the greatest business people. Marketing.
Unless it is two different people and they're at loggerheads with each other, which happens in a lot of these small ventures.
But I mean, they've changed their pricing structure 3 or 4 times since, you know, just before going live and today.
Doesn't bode
How many
well,
more
does
times
it?
is it going to change?
Yeah,
and that sounds like they've burnt through some money, or are running out of their own money,
or they've not
have run out of their own money, and that means, will it still be around and working? Will it have support going forward?
Yeah.
This just no.
it's a little bit shaky.
Yeah,
just it doesn't give me confidence in. I mean,
No.
I'm not the. I don't know whether I'd want one. I've never used an ASR.
It sounds amazing. It does sound amazing. The effects that came with it were essentially the DP4, is it? DS4, DP4. I mean, astonishing effects. The whole thing had a real sound to it, and anyone that used it will tell you it sort of kicked out the speakers at you. It did have a real sound to it. That's great. That's wonderful. But that's this just feels a bit dodgy, to be honest, at the moment. I mean, I'd love to hear from them if they can come back and tell us what the story is.
Yeah.
Deadman Morgan says, how can a digital sine wave be copyrighted? Well, you can't. But these aren't digital sine waves. These are waveforms, custom waveforms, in the ESQ1 anyway. So anyway, and Tom was going to say exactly what I was going to say. You got to wonder how much of this is vibe coded.
Yeah.
You know, and we're going to see a lot more of this, where people can knock out a piece of software very, very easily just by using, you know, tools, AI related tools.
Does the GUI have a picture of Trump on it?
It's actually, I mean, you know, it's not a bad looking thing. It kind of faithfully looks like pictures of ASR 10s that I've seen.
Yeah.
But most people that actually recreate these things put an interface on it that exposes some of that.
Yeah.
Yes, the envelopes and all those kinds of. The fact that none of that's exposed, it's just the original front panel. Yeah, no, it feels like, you know.
And there are no
this would be
demos
getting
of this.
a C-.
There's not a demo
could do
version.
better.
No, I mean,
demo videos. There are a couple of videos that kind of go into the workflow and stuff. But like, there was one video where this guy, who I believe is the developer, is sat in front of a controller, and he's got his mate next to him with a mobile phone, and they're kind of switching between the two. It really doesn't, fill me with any great confidence. I mean, it's not difficult to screen grab a plug-in and then just have a fixed camera if you want to show, what your hands are doing. So I don't know. I mean, look, good luck to them. I hope that this settles down into a decent price, and that we see a whole bunch of people turn around and say, you know what, this is brilliant. It's just like the hardware, but it's in a plug-in. And I wish them all the luck in the world, but it doesn't fill me with confidence.
Yeah, and this whole thing of 2 days, 8 hours, 14 minutes, and 7 seconds left before that's pressure selling. That's kind of, you buy now before your fear of missing out.
Yeah,
never do that. Won't do that. No.
Yeah, well, we'll see. We'll keep an eye on it, and I hope that I'm proved wrong. I really
me too. Me too.
I do like to see people coming up with good ideas, and I hope that I'm proved wrong. But check it out if you want to, if you feel brave enough. But as we would always say with anything like this, caveat emptor, buyer beware. Do so at your own risk. Do not come back to us and say, well, you said buy it. No, you can do what you want. Right, so we've done Synth Anthology, we've done that. This was interesting. I completely forgot to pull out my
hello
easy
Tiger. I forget to pull out my
Guando.
Yeah, no, who had this on their bingo card? This is basically a browser-based door, a basic door for your Teenage Engineering EP40, which is the rhythm. And you can record your audio from the rhythm into this, or you can use the rhythm as a controller to play sounds in this. It's really basic and simple, but it's fun. And yeah, you can load and save things into this. It's just, I'm just happy that someone has done this, and it's all been done by a person called Wadada. They're on GitHub, and there is the if you're into that kind of thing, it's all there. And you can the app is hosted on GitHub as well, because it is completely browser based. But you get full transport controls. You can export WAVs. You can export projects. You can import projects. You've got various basic settings and track controls, and there's a timeline that you can scroll through, and you can use the EP40 as your clock master or clock slave. It's a pretty simple basic thing, but it's fun and it's free. So if you've got an EP40, just hook it up over USB, and you can also do audio into the door via USB as well out of your EP40. So it's a fun little thing. Now this is what I kind of like. This is where people are getting inventive and coming up with ideas for things. So I like this.
Does it work on an iPad or anything like that?
I don't know.
Because then it would be really portable. But if you've got any kind of a laptop at all of any flavour, and this runs on that, then and it's free.
Yeah,
it's good fun for whilst you're away.
It doesn't say if it works on a tab. I mean, it's browser based, so one would assume if it works in Safari, say for example,
it should work. It should
work on an iPad. But yeah,
that might be something worth taking with you, Robbie.
I don't have an iPad.
Oh,
I know. It's one of the. Well, I have an iPad, but it's a very old iPad. It's now way beyond any.
Very old.
But, of all of those EP series machines, I think the Rhythm, and I'm really glad I waited for the Rhythm, because I was going to pull the trigger on the Medieval, because it's crazy, and I kind of really like those sounds. However, I have found that if you search in the right places on the internet, somebody has extracted all of the Medieval samples from the Medieval and made them available, so you can just upload them into your Rhythm, which of course has 128 meg of sample memory in there as well, so you can fill that up if you want to with all the medieval samples. So you kind of get the best of both worlds. But the rhythm, as far as the hardware is concerned, is one of the better spec of the three, because the original KO2 only had like 64 mega sample memory and some reduced features, and then the medieval kind of was this kind of in between thing, but the rhythm got like everything. There's just been a firmware update to all three of those as well, which added a whole bunch of new cool features, so that's cool.
I think the rhythm may end up on our list come Christmas as well.
Could well do. It's fun.
It's just such a cool, fun, funky thing.
I have to say though, I got that, and then not that long after, I got the MPC sample, and then for me, that that's kind of edged.
Yeah.
Although you can use both, why not both? But then Teenage Engineering brought out the Sidekick mixer, and that just made the rhythm even more appealing, because that's got some really
that's
cool
a
features.
Great little piece of kit, the Sidekick mixer.
It's an audio interface, and it's a mixer. It's a 4 in 8 out or 8 out, 8 in 4 out. I can't remember now. But yeah, I mean, it's just ridiculous for the money. It really is. But it's a really cool little device. So yeah, good to see that. Where are we? We've got 9 minutes left. Two things to quickly talk about. First of all, this is interesting. I know, Andrew, you've got an opinion on this. This is the news that after InMusic bought Native Instruments, which of course was also the home of Isotope, as well as Plugin Alliance, and what was there something else? I can't remember now. But Isotope has now been parted out and has joined Boris FX. Now, I'm not really familiar with Boris FX, because that's in a different realm to what I generally deal in. But I believe this is a good home, Andrew.
Yes, it is. I mean, Boris I've been using for years in video post and in creating VFX and all sorts of other things, and then I've had a relationship with them on the channel I was doing previously, which is the whatever it is, Adobe Premiere Pro editors. So I've been talking to them directly for a long time, and not so long ago they bought a company called Crumple Pop, who make. Yeah, I know it's a bizarre name, but they actually make brilliant voice processing software that runs in real time. So for cleaning up audio for use in video, there's nothing better. I mean, it just works. You just put a plug-in on the track in whatever your DAW is, and it works. It works really, really well. So they've got that, but they've also bought Samplitude, Acid Pro, Sequoia, I think it is. They've got a whole bunch of stuff. So they were moving towards audio more and more, and now with buying Isotope, who clearly are more biased towards the music side of things, although they have been used for a while by video post people. Isotope suddenly opens up. It's kind of a last piece of the puzzle. The one problem with Isotope that most people that use it face is it doesn't really move on that much, and some of the feature sets are feeling a little tired. It doesn't do stuff in real time particularly. So all of that put together, Boris are a really good company. They've got great people, and they're bringing the entire team in. So I think Isotope with Samplitude and with the DAW side of it, the mastering side, all of that, I think it speaks to. I think there's going to be a really good suite of things coming out, and I think all these code engineers are going to get together and create something new and different that I think is going to be really good. The only issue is Boris traditionally tends to favour subscription models, although you can buy, and they tend to be expensive.
Well, the promise is that Isotope will carry on business as usual for the foreseeable. So
for the foreseeable, but
indeed.
And there's some good people there, good coders there. So I think this could be really, really good, especially as a lot of people are using, working both in music and in video and whatever else. So it's a good joining of hands, as it were.
Our good friend Tom, Synth Anatomy, go and check out his website. He's mentioned that there are voices that say Plugin Alliance might go back to Dirk Ulrich, who of course founded Plugin Alliance. That wouldn't be a bad thing, I don't think, because he was very passionate about that. that organisation. So who knows? We will see.
Oh, sorry, some other news as well. Just ACO had mentioned that Topaz Labs used to be with Boris Effect. Topaz Labs, who makes some fantastic video and photographic upsizing, up-resing tools. They've been bought by Adobe this week.
All right.
So there's a lot of movement going on across the different channels and different things where a lot of software companies are gradually being bought under the wings of larger companies.
Indeed. Anyway, there you go. Isotope looks like they're going to be in good hands. So yeah, and just sort of to round things off, last weekend Peter and I went to the I would say the annual. It took a fallow year last year, but it's back at the Centre for Computing History in Cambridge, and it was another 2-day event called Synthesized. We were there with I had the YCAM system, so I had the KX88, TX816, QX1, RX11, and I also brought an SP990 for effects and a DX7 just to fill up some space. So it was just basically a load of Yamaha vintage digital stuff. And then Peter brought his class of 84, which was an Atari 1040 ST running hybrid arts and MIDI tracks connected up to a sequential 6-track called Poly 800, called DDD1, a Chroma Polaris, and there was a couple of other bits and bobs in there as well, including his Gen 1000. And it was a great day. Eddie was there with his guitar synthesizers, and there was lots of other good stuff. That's not our Matt Evans, by the way. That's another Matt Evans. Could there be another? Paul Salisbury was there on the Sunday with his soul
not as
synthesizers. Nowhere near as good looking. Pete Catley was there both days with his amazing drum machines. My favourite one was Bob Pearson, who's been there for the last few years. Bob was one half of the team that was responsible for Cheetah keyboards and synthesizers. And so he brought his Jupiter 6, which was a bit of an inspiration for the Cheetah MS6, and had loads of stories to tell.
Are we going to get him on the show at some point?
We are, because I asked him some while ago if he would come on the show, and he said, I'd love to, and I want to talk all about the times at Cheetah, but unfortunately my business partner is under investigation in America, and because there's a whole bunch of things, I can't talk about anything until that's done. Well, unfortunately for the certain gentleman in America, him and some of his family were in a very large yacht that got struck by lightning and capsized, and he was unfortunately killed along with some members of his family. Coincidentally, 3 days after, one of the financial accountants for the company was run over by an old lady whilst he was out jogging in the fens. All very curious and very interesting story. However, Bob would love to get him on the show and to talk about, because he's got some great stories. He's a real character. He's a lovely guy. And he's got some good stuff to say. So yeah, we'll try and get him on. However, I did take some pictures, which I generally forget to take when I go out and about on these things, because I'm generally on the stand talking to other people. But we will kick off with our stuff. So this is what I brought: KX88 and TX816, SP990, QX1, RX11. So that was all there and operational. This was behind me. This was interesting because they were making some interesting sounds, but they all sounded pretty much the same, and they were more interested in the pictures it was drawing on the oscilloscope than the sounds it was making, and it was a little annoying. But anyway, this was part of Peter's display. So we had a DX21 above his Chroma Polaris, the Gen SX1000, the sequential 6-track was there as well. Greatest synthesizer in the world, with an Omnichord. That wasn't my Omnichord, by the way, but it was fun to do the Gorillaz impression on that. Back to Peter with his Poly 800, his DDD1. He'd also got the, what is that in the corner? The EX800. Got an Oberheim DP4 as well, so he could play back his emulator samples. This was the organisers' little setup. Casio FZ1 and an Atari ST running, I think that looks like Cubase or something similar. This was Eddie's rig with some Behringer synths and an Akai sampler and a Korg module, and he was playing a lot of this through his guitar pickups. It sounded very good. This one I can't remember what that was. That's Bob. That's Bob Pearson there with his Jupiter 6 and some Behringer boxes there as well. I think he was talking to Mr. Catley. Talking to Mr. Catley, we'll come to him shortly. Yeah, this was Bob's little thing as well. He got all of these hooked up to his little controller. What's this? Oh, this was Simon Benefer from King's Lynn. He rocked up with his Roland Phantom, his CZ101, his TG33, his Novation base station, a little Casio keyboard there, and a lovely vintage Fender amp, which did sound rather nice, I must say. This is part of Pete Catley's brilliant drum machine display. I keep meaning to bash him over the head and just steal all this. It's so good. This is like my childhood right there. All the Lynn machines. Then you've got the Drumulator and the DX and the CR78 and the Mini Pops and the KR55. Again, more modular stuff. Moving on. Charlotte from Norwich, she showed up with the Korg Monopoly Juno 6 and her TR-808, of course. This was a nice little setup with a couple of TD3s, a Micro Brute, Akai sampler. I can't remember what that thing's at on the bottom. It looks Rolandy. It's a Roland D220, I believe. What else we got? Oh, that was that from another angle. Another Gen SX 1000 there. Nice little Portatone from Yamaha. And that is the end of Lennon playing my DX7 and looking very happy. And there's more pictures. He was really into it, properly into it.
He was happy he didn't own it.
He's wearing my shirt.
I know he's wearing your shirt as well. And then there was this lovely thing, the Minisonic 2, which was, I believe, a kit synthesizer, which was very interesting. And yeah, so I mean,
key bush adjusted.
Yeah, that wasn't everything, but that's about all I could get around in time. But that was synthesized 2026, which was a rip-roaring success. It was very busy, and we will be back next year, I hope.
Good.
Fingers crossed. So there we go. Our next show that we will be demonstrating at will be Synthfest UK in Sheffield in October. We'll have more details of that, but I expect lots of vintage Yamaha analog. Most of that will be supplied by Peter. I don't know what I'm bringing. I don't know how much space we've got at the moment, so we'll see. We'll try and fit something in.
Well, he will want to.
What do you say?
I said he will once I've fixed it.
Oh yes, sorry. I thought you'd frozen for a second. I thought,
here
we go again. Yes, yeah. One of the things has broken again, but yeah, we'll sort that out. But yeah, I actually enjoyed Synthesize this year because what I took didn't take a lot of effort to load in and load out, and I enjoyed that bit a lot. So yeah, there we go. So yeah, really good event. If you can get down to Cambridge for that weekend, it would be great to see you. Yeah. Right, so there we go. We have come to the end of the show. I've just seen that Will from Format Labs Audio is in the chat. Well done. Congratulations on making
Congratulations, yeah. I've bought it. It's amazing.
There you go. And Andrew's brought it already. It's a really good thing. So I hope
I'm buying it in a couple of minutes.
There we go.
Yeah.
Amazing. Good stuff. So thank you, everyone. Have a fantastic weekend. Of course, to our American friends, have a fantastic 4th of July. Be safe. Remember, fireworks, light them and walk away. Okay? Don't go back to a lit firework. What's the other thing they used to tell us to do? Something. Anyway, be safe.
Put bangers in a dog's mouth. Yeah,
don't do that. Don't put them up car exhausts. And don't put cherry bombs in the toilets. And all that kind of stuff. Or do that, maybe. I don't know. Have fun.
Or Mentos in Coke.
Indeed, yes. Your Independence Day, you ungrateful colonials. Enjoy it. Have a fantastic weekend. And we will see you same time, same place next week for another couple of hours of this rubbish, and have a fun weekend. Don't forget to go and watch all the other synthesizer shows on YouTube. You know, got Jervis on Sunday, as usual. You got Ramsey tomorrow, Sonic State on the Wednesday. If you're a Sonic State Patreon, they're doing their Superstar Sunday Hangout at 6 p.m. on Sunday. I'm going to try my best to be there as well. So yeah, if you want to come and join us, if not, you can watch, I think, on YouTube. But yeah, just go and watch all the synthesizer shows. There's some really good stuff out there. So have fun, and we will see you same time, same place next week. That's all from us. Take care, everyone. Goodbye.
Bye.